so much for waking up with us and staying with us up to this hour, 11 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. here at Church of Uganda Family TV. And every Tuesday is URA Day, and where you get to know certain things about URA, about how you need to pay a tax, what things are happening in URA. And with me today I have our usual guest, Madam Hasfa Seguya. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome and good morning.
Yes. Now, starting December 2021,
Yes.
if you are a purchaser of land or you are a buyer of land, it was passed as if into law, right? That you need to have a TIN number, and particularly if the value of land is above 10 million. I'll probably ask why about my 5 million piece? Why don't you also want? But what are some, and today that's what we are discussing, the requirements of TIN in land transactions. Maybe for our viewers who might still be avoiding to pay tax, because if you know what TIN is, you know what, if you are paying tax, you know what a TIN is. But what's a TIN number, maybe for the people who might not know what that is?
A TIN is, first of all, it's an abbreviation of taxpayer identification number.
Okay.
It's that number that is meant to identify you on a tax register.
Okay.
And it's given out free of charge to anybody who is in business, intending to do business, is in employment, has some income.
Some income coming in.
That is where it comes in handy. And we give you a TIN.
Okay.
But ideally, when you look at land transactions, I am not registering the land.
Okay. What?
I am not registering the land. The difference is I need to know what is it that you do, where you can save to a tune of about 10 million and above, that you can put in land and continue working. That is what I want to know.
Okay.
I don't register the land unless you're dealing in land. For example, the property owners, the property whatever, is it property masters? And
yes, property owners. Yes, those people who deal in real estate.
Exactly, real estate. These ones who deal in land, they buy a chunk of land, break it down, then they sell out. That is different because there, ideally, your source of income comes out of land transactions. So that is where I register you. That your source of income comes out of land. Ideally, it's that. However, the rest, you and me, it's a one-off. You have your plot, you want to sell it and maybe clear other things, put some money in business, maybe pay fees and all that. I don't register the land, but I need to know you. What is it that you do? I don't mind you work here at Family TV. You already have a TIN on which they submit your pay as you earn through to URA. It is well okay. Use that TIN for the same transaction.
Okay, so what exactly do you tax?
What exactly do we tax?
Do you just want to know information?
Exactly. One, we need information. Two, we need to widen the tax base. That's our register.
That's true.
In the event that we don't have you on a register, and we discover you have a source of income somewhere, we need to bring you up to speed, and you join the register. Then three, in the event that there is income where we need to tax, then ultimately we will. But on land, there is nothing I'm taxing if you're just selling your land. It's like you're selling your plot of land, you've sold already, but you're just transferring. I have sold, and this is the time I sold to you way back. This is the time we've arranged to carry on the transfer process. So at this particular time, URA needs to know who is this person selling. That's a Hasfa. Where does Hasfa work? In URA. We already have her on the radar. Then she is transferring to Byron. Does Byron have a TIN?
Yes.
Where exactly? And if Byron does not have a TIN, we are going to register Byron for tax purposes, give him a TIN, but we are indicating the source of income. That is the employment income from Family TV. The land transaction It's just like any other transaction. It is just helping us know these persons better who deal in these transactions.
So Madam Hasfa, it's like it's like as if an investigation. You just want to know that Byron, you're just making sure that Byron's source of income
is registered. Exactly.
And that's the one you ultimately tax.
That is where I tax.
That's where you tax.
Because for land, ideally, before even this came in, this guideline, land were already picking stamp duty on it.
Yes.
A transfer, it's 1%, 1.5% of the total value. And how do we derive the value? It is not what you give us. It is what we pick from the government value under Ministry of Lands. Because ideally you'll come with your instrument, because a transfer of land is called an instrument to us. You'll come with this instrument, declare it via the portal that I need to do a change of ownership, a land transfer, in other words. Then information has to go, because we are interlinked with Ministry of Lands.
Yes.
It has to go to lands. Then the government valuer will have to look at it, look at the appreciation of land in whatever location you are, because they have the technicality of assigning those values.
Yes.
So the value that the government value assigns, it's where we pick the 1.5%.
Okay.
Then we give you an assessment. You pay it, but what you're paying is stamp duty.
You're not.
It's just a levy. It's just a levy that we derive on instruments as we are trying to authenticate them.
Okay. Does it apply to all? So there are particular types of land. Does it apply to all types of land? Mile off.
We have mile, freehold. We have leasehold, and all that. It applies because you're changing ownership.
So land is.
Stamp duty is just meant to authenticate this particular transaction, so that it's permissible in the eyes of court. Moving forward, never know what can happen. So that's how stamp duty comes in.
All right, requirements. What do we need for these land transactions to happen? I mean, today we're talking about requirements of team in land transactions. So the team
initially. In a land transaction, definitely you must have filled the transfer forms.
Okay.
Then the actual instrument that you're going to transfer should be present. The title itself.
Okay.
At land's point, it should be present. But for us, we need the transfer form that you're filling, that Hasfa, whose photo is affixed here, is transferring to Byron, whose photo is affixed here. The land is located here, in this location, plot this, block this. You could even assign a value of this much. Okay. So when it goes to lands, they also look at what you have put and probably how they do the valuation. Then they come up with an agreed amount, assign a value. That's where I pick the 1.5%. So initially, that is stamp duty. But when I give you a tin, what I am looking at, I need to know the source of income behind that you do, where you can get savings that can amount to 10 million and above, and you can buy a piece of land.
But you already have looked for money.
Not looking for money. We are trying to level the ground.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
We are leveling the ground. Ask me why. If I don't do this, are you aware that people who sell chunks of land and move away with the money and tax?
Yes.
Then will it be fair if I come for your pairs you earn here, and I make sure I pick it every month? You will say, for example, I'm earning about 1.5 and still they are squeezing me. Yet there's somebody who is selling chunks and chunks of land which are in millions and billions, and you are a silent. So we are trying to bring everybody on board. Exactly. We are trying to level the ground so that we actually pick what is right for government to take as taxes.
All right. You talked about stamp duty.
Yes.
And just allow me ask you, what would be the process of declaring the instrument, or let's call it document, for stamp duty? Do I have to, is that now with lands, or?
It starts with us.
Oh, it starts with you.
It starts with us because you visit our portal. You go where stamp duty is. You're declaring a single instrument. Then you just click there, you fill the page. give us your details, you who is declaring the instrument, the person you are selling to, the details of the land, and probably the amounts. Then you submit. But when you submit, ideally we get a notification, but we wait for lands to update this particular task with the amounts. So because that's where the government valuer is resident. And in the event that we don't have the technicality to value, we need to wait for them to assign a value. Then it comes back to us. That is when we pick 1.5%, then give you a payment registration slip to pay the stamp duty before the transfer can be effected. So after paying the stamp duty on that, what happens is once the payment has reconciled, we'll be able to see it in the system. We are going to, you the client, will be able to generate a stamp certificate for that particular instrument. Because you can only generate a stamp instrument when a certificate when the payment has reconciled. If it reconciles, then you can generate that certificate. Then we attach it onto those documents after payment. Then you proceed to lands. Then they will complete the other bit of it. Because actually we don't do the transfer, but we are conduit that picks whatever we have to pick on a particular instrument, be it a caveat. When you're trying to caveat probably your land, you need to first do it this side and make payment. Reason why with land and mortgages, you have to first go to lands because there are values that are attached there. So that we pick from there. Because with stamp duty we have instruments. We have about 64 instruments in our act, the Stamps Duty Act 2014. And they are different. We have the caveat, we have statutory declaration, we have the normal agreement, we have divorce. Divorce is also an agreement, an instrument. Yes, ensure that when you divorce, the fact that you married this person and have a marriage certificate that you ultimately register with the Uganda Registration Services Bureau to authenticate this marriage. Ideally, when you're dissolving it, you need a marriage certificate, you need a divorce. Make sure this divorce is authenticated in the eyes of court where you pay stamp duty. And it's fixed. Because stamp duty, we have instruments that have fixed rates and we have those that are ad valorem. Ad valorem keep on varying. That is why we use percentages. But for the ones that are fixed, they're either 10,000, 15, 5, just like that.
That divorce thing has... I was going to say, why do I need?
Exactly.
Why do I need to inform you are either
exactly
to divorce?
And it's like you've bought an asset. An agreement.
Probably together.
Maybe a car. No. Even though it's yours. You bought a car, there is an agreement that has been crafted by the other party to yourself, you signed. That is not enough these days. You need to authenticate the agreement by paying stamp duty of 10,000 on it.
My gosh.
So at any one time, in case somebody comes, you purchased it fraudulently and all that, automatically you will go to court. Then how are you moving to court? How prepared are you? Is this instrument, this agreement that has been authenticated? That's where I start from. Because when you take it to court without paying stamp duty, court will not listen to you. Will tell you first go back and make your documents good.
So it means even for me doing my land transactions on the, and I'm not doing all these particular things, it means there is a big...
If there is an agreement, sale of land, an agreement, a sales agreement, sale of a motor vehicle, of an asset, you need to authenticate it, and paying 10,000 is just cheap compared to the value of that asset. Because at the end of the day, when you disagree, we are looking at the value of the asset in which it holds. That's the most important. So even land, because there are people who own bibanjas. When you own a shibanja, you have an agreement. Have you ever authenticated it? You're keeping your agreement very tight under your pillow.
Because we know that's all we need. But
now the public needs to know there is much more than that.
Yes.
Do not wait for this lawyer to come and tell you Japanese at that time and you get confused. As you purchase, pay stamp duty on these agreements and just keep quiet. Exactly.
Stamp duty of 10K.
Yes, it's just 10K per agreement. Every extra copy is 5,000. Then you move off.
All right. Before we go for a break, I know that the land transactions are 10 million and above. Is there a particular reason why? Why is it 10 million? Why not 5? Why not 20?
Exactly.
Why not 50? Why 10?
When you look at income tax, I will tell you start your business, trade. But I will tell you when you exceed 10 million in your gross turnover, I will come and tax the excess.
Okay.
That is why my benchmark is 10 million when I'm looking at those transactions.
Okay.
At least if you can put a 10 million and above somewhere, it rests there. Then ultimately you may not be doing badly in your business. Because I can't imagine you'll take out all the capital and buy land and make it sit there. That is not earning income on a daily. That means there is some more behind here where that helps you to transact. So that's why I look at the 10 million.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Because I was going to say, now me with my 5, for you aren't you taxing me, but 5.
Yes, with your 5, probably you can still be below and it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. That is Hasfa Seguya there. And we're talking about requirements of TIN in land transactions. Now, if you transact a lot in land and whatnot, I think this is a conversation you need to hear. And we usually get into issues, Madam Hasfa, because someone comes, your landlord comes and says now, or the owner of the land comes and says, yes, I think this land either doesn't belong to you, or the transaction you had was fake, and we usually get into mixed problems, all because we had an agreement. He signed, I also signed, but clearly it's much more than that.
But I think even before the agreement, you must have done some due diligence.
Because
as any other human being, as any other human being, because it's a little difficult to invest your hard-earned money when you haven't done due diligence. What did you do to authenticate this transaction? How did you know how genuine it was? Where did you go and check here and there? Because these days you can even go to lands and do a search to see whether the title they are probably presenting to you actually exists. Because there are some titles that were cancelled, and if it exists, does it have the details that you have? Is it for that same person you're going to pay? And have you realized maybe it could be in the names of that person, but the person selling is a different one? Why don't you ask him that, who is this? Can I probably talk to him to know I am going to buy? It's like a car. They can flash a card to you, they are selling the car is there, you see it in good condition, but at the end of the day, who is this person written in the card? Who is the registered owner? Have you asked yourself who that person is? And before paying your money, you have a right to ask who this is. Can I see this person, a him or her? And I make it clear I'm going to purchase. Does he have any problem with that? Had he had issues with the vehicle and probably with the previous owners? Because at times people do not transfer and you find a vehicle where they could say Erimumiko Nesato. They have been 3 owners in between there. And what happened to the 3 owners? Why didn't they transfer? Maybe somewhere, somehow, there's somebody who still was waiting for a payment from the other party. And it went unpaid. That is why you found it in those how many hands. So that is a due diligence I expect you to do on every transaction, be it land, be it any other transaction. But at the end of the day, it will help you authenticate. Because the other thing we didn't talk about, the stamp duty. Who pays it?
That's a conversation that we need to have after. But also, I want us to have a conversation, Madam Hasfa, about if I've inherited my land. Does this also apply to me, and how does it apply to me? We need to go in for a break, but when we come back, we'll come back with more here on Church of Uganda Family TV.
Welcome to Coffee Production Tips, brought to you by Uganda Coffee Development Authority. Uganda Coffee Development Authority is the government agency mandated to promote and oversee the coffee industry as a whole by developing research, facilitating coffee production and productivity, by training farmers on good agricultural practices, controlling the quality and improving the marketing of coffee for the benefit of stakeholders, planting coffee seedlings, mulching, training coffee seedlings, and stamping coffee. Farmers are encouraged to adopt good agricultural practices to get high yields, good prices, and better income from coffee. These tips are brought to you by Uganda Coffee Development Authority.
Brethren, yes we can. We can clear the debt of Church House, and I want to invite you to give generously to the love gift. May God bless you as you give.
Do you have a business that you are looking to grow? Advertising with Church of Uganda Family TV is the way to go. We are located on Church House, level 13, along Kampala Road. We offer favorable rates and an extremely creative production team that will work with you to take your business to the next level. To give us a ring, call us on 0781 084215 or 0750 655232. Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives.
Easy Change Forex Bureau. We deal in all major foreign currencies like US dollars, British pounds, euros, Kenya shillings, and very many others. We are located at Church House Level 1, Shop number 4 along Kampala Road. We operate from Monday to Friday 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, contact us on 0706 09 4189 or 0783 837363. For the best forex rates, Easy Change Forex Bureau is your answer.
Thank you so much for staying with us here at Church of Uganda Family TV. This is Morning Glory. Enriching lives is what we do every single day. And if you are transacting in land and all those things, you need a TIN number. And this was declared last year, December 2021, that if you're transacting in any land things, and the transaction is above 10 million, both of you, both lander, both buyer and seller both need a TIN number, and we have Hasfa Seguya here from URA to clarify some of these things Thank you so much, Hasfa, for joining us this morning. Stamp duty is one of the things you talked about before the break, and I want to ask who exactly pays the stamp duty
on the land
transaction.
It's the buyer.
It's the buyer, me who is buying the land.
Because you, the person buying, you're then interested in the land getting into your names.
Okay.
So ideally, you then who needs to pay. The other party, the land is already in their names. They don't mind. So it is you who has to fight hard to see that this land goes in your names. So that you can hold an asset that actually read your names. Because moving on, you may want to place it as a security in a financial institution. Automatically, nobody will use it if it's not in your names.
Yes.
Because you can't borrow against it. It's like they've lent the other person, and actually it's you who is taking the money.
Gotcha.
So it is you who has to make sure that you pay the stamp duty at that particular time when you are trying to change ownership or you are trying to transfer the details of that land into your details.
So it means I pay that stamp duty after I have purchased the land.
Exactly, because if you haven't purchased, then you're paying against what? What do you know? The land is not yours.
The land is not
yours. It is for the other party. And by the way, you may have purchased, but you're paying in bits. Not until the last installment is paid up, then you can transfer. Because this party will not initiate a transfer for you.
Okay.
Ideally, they won't. And they have the original title. So they won't present themselves. Because there's still something you need to do.
Yeah.
In between there.
I get you. So it's not until, even though I'm paying monthly, it's until I've finished the payment.
Exactly, it's until you finish the payment, because the other party will, I mean, if they go in for a transfer, how sure are they that you will complete the payment?
All right.
It's like paying, it's like even paying for a car in installment. Have you ever seen somebody transferring it to your names before?
No.
Unless you've gotten a financial lease, a finance lease from an institution, whereby they tell you, okay, we are going to get the vehicle in our names, but we are going to give it to you to use it. Not until you complete this payment that we will transfer it into your names.
Either way, until I finish the payment.
The last payment.
Yes, that's when I get the car. That's when the car is registered in my name.
Yes.
Got you. I was wondering if I'm a musika of land, let's say, if my parents had big chunks of land and they are deceased, do I also need, first of all, do I also need to pay stamp duty on it? Isn't it already mine? What happens if I've inherited land and it's clear that it's already mine? Do I have to again?
When you inherit land, then it is going into your names. In most cases, when we are trying to transfer this land, it's like at times we normally get when the owner, the original owner, died without having a will.
Yes.
At times you even go to the administrator general for letters of administration. So in most cases, whoever they pronounce as the administrators, we are forced to see that the land is transferred, or the estate, whatever is included in the estate, is transferred to that person or those persons. So here with stamp duty, you will only pay for say 5,000 for this document, but the actual stamp duty will not be paid because it was not your choice for the other person to die. And ideally, you may not even have the money to do it. That happens. However, a tin is mandatory in every transaction still. Because look here, Byron, you the heir, or you are the administrator. But before you being the administrator, you had a source of income. You're doing something.
I'm doing something.
Exactly. Ideally, you have a tin. So it is the same tin that you bring in this transaction. And even though you didn't have any source of income, say you're retired, or it is a young person,
or you're unemployed,
you're unemployed, or you're still a student, such a thing, we could give you a tin without income tax. we put stamp duty because that is a levy we know you are going to pay. Because we don't know of any income that you have. But here, if you already had an income, we just request you to indicate it on the tin. We are trying to register. So ideally, that is how it works.
Talking about tins again, if I'm a student, it means, well, I have it. You register it, you said you register it under...
Because there is a way we register a minor, but we need a guardian besides that minor. Because you will find a minor being a director in a company.
That's true.
Because it's a son or daughter of the owner. So we need a guardian who is an adult, so that we can ideally give this tin to that minor as we wait for them to attain the age of majority.
Does that change when, let's say, I'm out of school and, you know, let's say I've gotten a job?
It changes because the details you gave us ideally then were for the guardian. So at that time, if you're a major, you're no longer a minor, you can come back to us and we amend the details. Because now you can make a decision on your own. But ideally then when we are registering you and giving you that tin, we relied more on the details of the guardian. That is how we do it, because we know this is somebody who is still young. They could not be making a decision on their own. They need somebody to guide them. That's a guardian. But when you attain the maturity age, then we can make modifications of amending. Then you maintain the same tin, but with the details that you prefer at that particular time. So it depends, because you can have the land when actually you don't have any source of income. So there is a tin, but it depends on which tax types register on the tin.
Are there people that have, like, not all the tax types, but most of the tax types? Let's say they have income, they have stamp duty.
They are there. Let me give you an example. This could be a company. Let me imagine it's a manufacturing company. Here. Automatically it has income tax on it. Because there's income.
There's income coming in.
Its income surpasses 150 million. So VAT comes in handy. It's manufacturing, it's dealing in excisable items. I have the excise duty here. They are employing a number of people, and pay as you earn comes in handy. So I register the pay as you earn with them. I designated them as withholding tax agents. I register withholding tax because they are meant to withhold on behalf of the institution. I think you see all this comes in handy. So those that do not come in handy are stamp duty. Even though your tin does not have stamp duty, we can transact for stamp duty on it. For imports, we do not need to register the tin with imports. We just trigger it in customs to accept the import transaction. So ideally, you see almost all the tax types are there because of what you do. Because it is what guides us on which tax types we need to register here.
So it means if at the time I got my tin, I was, say, in for income tax. Only.
So we wait for your business to graduate. If it goes that high, and you can make 150 million, I may add the VAT. And if you're good enough and you've started employing some people, pay as you earn will come in handy. So if you're dealing in an excisable item, then excise duty will come in handy. Yes.
That's very, very interesting to know about tin. So is it as easy, is the tin as easy, maybe if we remind other people how to get a tin, is it as easy to get as possible?
We've even simplified it. We have an application where what we call an instant tin, where you just go on the portal page. That's www.ura.go.ug. This time it's not an Excel sheet. You just go there, look on your left hand side, you look for where there is tin registration. Then when you get the TIN registration there, you just first go to e-services, then it will pour down the rest. Then on your left you have TIN registration. Once you click there and you have an identification, say your NIN, once you put the NIN there, it will auto-populate your details, as in your date of birth, your names, your email, the email you used. So it will have saved you all that, because we are interlinked with NIRA. Yes. So it works for individuals basically. So the other thing we'll need, what's your source of income? Is it employment income that you work under a certain company? Or is it business income that you have a business on your own? So you indicate what income that is. And if it's business, if the name is there, you please indicate it. Or the registration number, please indicate it, because we are interlinked with Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Then at that point you submit. It's just a one page, not even a whole page, half a page.
Does it is it instant? Do I get my TIN there and then, or I wait a few days?
And not days. You wait a few hours.
Okay. So I get it that very day.
That very day.
Okay.
That's why you call it an instant TIN.
That's
exactly.
That's okay. That's good. It means you can now successfully transact in your business.
The reason we are doing like that, we do not want people to be charged for a service that is free. Because normally people say they charge them for applying for a TIN. So we are trying to see that we simplify further, so that when they charge you, it will be on your own.
So a TIN is free, but so there are very many people, Madam Hasfa, who might not know how to use a computer. We might assume that they know how to go on the web page and do all that. Is that where the charge comes in from?
No, please.
When do we charge?
When do we charge?
For a TIN.
Your does not charge for a TIN. Unless you go to an agent. Because Mark, you, the agent, also came from home to see how they survive. So I just advise, if you don't know how to use a computer, a machine, just go to any liaison station near you, any URL liaison station near you to help you. When you go inside the office, still it's free. But if you decide to get somebody to help you out, I mean, that's your own arrangement. It's not you are charging you. It's not you. It's that particular person charging you. Because for us, we've created avenues where you can get it for free. So if you fail to use some of those avenues, then probably the choice was yours.
Those are yours, like
exactly.
My brother said. Okay. All right. We're coming towards the end of the show, and you know, we need to make sure that we get everything we need. Are there particular things, Madam Hasfa, that you would like to the people to know that maybe we haven't discussed here, but about land transactions and having a TIN and the requirements of a TIN in land transactions? And
maybe the first thing I would like our viewers to know, which particular identifications you could use, because it's not only a national identification number. You have a passport, provided it's valid, a driver's license, valid, a visa card, an employment ID, valid, an employment contract that is valid also. So all those can help you get a TIN moving forward. And maybe secondly, what I want our viewers to know, this TIN is basically used for transactions that involve your business, that involve taxes. So ideally, we don't want you to misuse the TIN by sharing it. And we request you to include this TIN on every transaction, every business transaction. Please include it. Even though somebody is invoicing you, let them know of your TIN, so that the invoice or the receipt that is coming out can actually be owned by you. It has your TIN, it has your names.
Because the TIN, it's your identification number.
Because at the end of the day, when you're pushing in a return, these two have to be in tandem. It has to have a TIN. And when the documents don't have a TIN, then it may be a problem you utilizing them as a credit in your return. So ideally, we would like to tell the public that we have avenues where you can get a TIN, and our TIN is free
For everyone?
For every Ugandan.
Even unemployed people?
When you don't have a source of income, because this is taxpayer identification number. This number is meant to identify you on my tax register. Then if you don't have income, where are you going to get the tax you're going to pay me?
And but then you see, I'm unemployed. Okay, now that's a different one. I'm unemployed, and my parents have left me land, for example. And you're saying for me to transact any land things, I need to have a TIN.
You will apply for the TIN at the time you need probably to transfer the land.
To transfer
exactly.
The land. Okay.
You will apply for the TIN.
Okay.
Because once you apply for a TIN, we give it an effective date, and the effective date implies that there's something you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So ideally, if the TIN is idle, at times we may be forced to deactivate it because we are not seeing any transaction going through.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a time when you deactivate it? Is there a particular
Normally,
time,
we give you a year. When we are not seeing anything coming out of a year, we feel we need to relieve you of that duty.
Yeah.
That.
All right.
Yes.
Madam Hasfa Seguya there, who is a tax specialist with Uganda Revenue Authority, every single Tuesday here to enlighten us about some things we didn't know about. Like now, I'm sure many people, particularly, I can tell you for free that people in the village, that they don't know this thing. They don't know that when you're transacting land, please, you need to have a TIN. They don't even know what a TIN is. And we need to let you people know that, guys, go and get a TIN. It's very easy to get. Go over to their portal and get that TIN. All right. Last words, encouragement. Let's encourage the brethren watching to pay tax.
For our viewers this morning, I would like to thank you for the support you have given Uganda Revenue Authority, the support you've given your government by paying taxes. We know it hasn't been the easiest. We've gone through a lot. We've gone through COVID. Now we are into school fees. But at least we appreciate what you have given us in form of taxes. And I would like to urge those who are not yet registered, yet you have income, please do so that we all pay our fair share of taxes. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Hasfa, again for coming. We are going in for Kids Vibe, where we enrich the lives of your children. The ones that are not yet going back to school, the ones that are still home, please stay on to Family TV for every single day. We will see you again tomorrow at 7 a.m. here at Family TV for another episode of Morning Glory. Have a blessed day.